Good day. My name is Michael Smeckley. I'm the host of Everyone's Got a Story. What's yours? Today we have Mr. Van Deeb here, and I thank you for being here, sir.
Thank you for having me.
It is definitely a pleasure and an honor to have you here.
Thank you.
So, what this show is about is we've all gone through life. Life has happened. And because we gain the knowledges and the experiences through this seasoned aspect of who we are in our life, it molds us and shapes us into the individuals we are today. As Van's going to be talking about his experiences and the technologies he's gone through to be who he is now, it may resonate with some of you to be able to give you hope and or inspire you to be so much more. So, Van, got a question for you.
Yes, Mike.
Can you tell us about your experiences and why they're important to you, please?
So it all starts with my childhood. I was a non-conforming, rebellious, independent thinker.
That's good.
They didn't have a designation for ADD back then, but I'm pretty sure I would have been a poster child.
I understand that quite well.
Yeah, and so I grew up with a great family, 5 brothers and sisters, and average income, my family were good providers, but I grew up where if I wanted a bike, I shoveled driveways and mowed yards. If I wanted a car when I turned 16, I had to shovel a lot of driveways and mow a lot of yards, and I even paid for my own college. So
Nice.
nothing was ever given to me, so I worked. I started at a young age understanding the discipline of a work ethic.
Yes.
And, went to UNO, was fortunate enough to play football.
That's cool.
The audience won't remember me because I wasn't that notable, but it taught me discipline.
Yes.
And these all play a role in my business career. Drive, desire, determination, and having discipline, I believe, is going to get anybody in life where they want to go, no matter what their background.
Very true, very true.
So, I was fortunate enough to find my career at a young age. I left Omaha when I was 22. I just wanted to go experience another city. I remember kissing my mother goodbye on her front porch, and she was confident I'd be back in a week or 2. Well, it ended up being I was gone for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
I came back a lot for holidays, but I went to Dallas, Texas. And long story short, I got in the real estate business, went to real estate school.
Good.
And I became addicted to real estate.
That's cool.
At 23 years old, and had a storied career. Fairy tale career in Dallas for 10 years. I remember there was months and months I'd go without taking a day off. I was addicted to the real estate industry. And then for family reasons, I moved back to Omaha, Nebraska in 1993.
Okay.
And I opened up out of my basement, Deeb Realty.
Yes.
And of course, a lot of naysayers. There's not room for another real estate company at Omaha, and come join us. And I didn't work hard to prove them wrong. I worked hard to prove myself right.
I like that.
And within 16 years, I had the largest independent real estate firm in the Midwest.
Awesome.
We had just shy of 400 agents. It's now called Nebraska Realty.
That's cool.
I sold it to my general manager, which is a great story. He started out at my company in his young 20s and said, I want a salaried position, not just straight commission. And so I put him on answering phones, and an incredible human being, and promoted him from that to assistant manager, general manager, and then he bought the company from me.
Awesome.
So I was supposed to retire and chill out, and that lasted about 30 minutes. And so I opened up another real estate company in 2012, and that's called Big Omaha Realty. Okay, and there's going to be some rebranding of that after 12 years, but that's top secret right now.
I understand that quite well.
But so this is my 40th year, Mike. This is my 40th year in real estate, and this is my 25th year in motivational speaking. So
very awesome. Very awesome.
there you have it in a nutshell.
Well, I do remember a certain story at an Omaha Empowerment Breakfast that you told us about your adventures in Dallas and how you started in real estate. Can you tell us about that, please?
Oh my gosh, there's so many stories, but you want to hear the one about when I got my first job?
Whatever one you want to tell us.
Okay.
I remember at the breakfast, it was the entire audience was riveted and listening to what you were saying, and many got to take nuggets of knowledge out of that.
Well, thank you for asking me. So I've written several books, and this one I wrote is called The Power of Asking. And this is an experience that is about how we need to ask for things in life in order to get to where we want to go.
That is
People
true.
are waiting to help us.
That is true.
If we just know how to ask, but you can't just ask for things. You've got to be the person that people want to help.
That is true.
So that's my mission, is to help people become the type of person that people want to gravitate to.
Yep.
Anyway, so I'm 22. I won't get too deep into it, but I'll just say that I met a guy that was driving a really cool car, and I said to him, I said, gosh, what kind of business are you in that you drive that cool car? I'm driving a piece of junk. I'm waiting tables. And he said, I'm in real estate. And I said, I want to be in real estate. So anyway, long story short, Dallas, Texas was the #1 mecca for people moving there in 1983. And what better time to get into real estate? Rates were only 17.5%. Jimmy Carter was just finishing being president of the United States. And then I remember when the rates dropped to 15%, people were going nuts to buy houses. And now, it's they've got kind of a lot better luxury. So anyway, there's a company called Pulte, P-U-L-T-E, a large national builder, and I had understood that they would be a great company to work for. There was like 250 salespeople they had, so I called them.
Cool.
And I said, are you guys hiring? And they said, no, we're not. And they said, but you can send us your resume. So I'm like, you know what? I want to sell real estate. I've heard these guys are the best. So I did my research. We didn't have internet back then, no cell phones, no.
That's true.
If you wanted to do research on a company, you went to the library, which you could tell by my GPA from college, I didn't know where the library was.
Ouch.
But anyway, so I made up my own resume, which I've never done before. I went to a consignment store and bought a used $50 suit. And I went to the corporate office for Pulte Home Builders, and big, beautiful, intimidating office. And anyway, I went up there and I said to the receptionist, can I speak to one of your 4 area managers? And she said, do you have an appointment? I said, no, I don't. She goes, I'm sorry, we can't. You'll have to make an appointment. And I said, I came all the way here. Can I just say hello? All I want to do is just shake one of the 4 managers' hands and I'll be on my way. And receptionist was super sweet. And she goes, have a seat in the lobby. And if one's available, we'll do it. So
That's cool.
Finally, after 3 hours, and thank God they had really good TV shows on in the lobby because that kept me entertained. Finally, after 3 hours, a very tall, intimidating, dressed to the nines woman peeks her head around the corner and goes, are you Van Deeb? And I said, yes, I am. She goes like this. And I haven't seen this since I was in high school, and the principal would always come into my room and, So
I understand that quite well.
And so anyway, calls me back in her office, puts me in a chair, and I felt like I was in one of these little chairs looking up at a gigantic desk, and she's reading my resume, and she started giggling. And I think this is the part where you like, Mike, is she started giggling, and I'm like, this is not a good thing when somebody is interviewing you and they giggle when they see your resume. And she said, Mr. Deeb, under sales experience, you've got here that the only thing you've got under sales experience is that you were the king of the carnival in 2nd grade at Mount View Elementary School. And I said, yes, ma'am. You had to sell the most carnival tickets to be the king of the carnival, and I was the king of the carnival.
That's cool.
2nd grade. So she just looked at me and kind of paused, like, who is this guy? And she kept reading, and then she put it down and she looked at me. I'll never forget. She goes, Mr. Deeb, tell me, why do you think you can sell real estate? And I don't know if this was a divine intervention. I'm pretty sure it was, because I was not that confident of a person, but it came over me. And I said, Miss King, her name was Emma King. And I said, Miss King, if I'm not your number one salesman in 3 months, you can fire me or I'll quit. And she just went back like this and had a smile, and she goes, what are you doing this weekend? And I said, whatever you tell me to do. She goes, we have a subdivision in Garland, Texas. I want you to go out there and greet people at the model homes, and you'll meet with Bernard and Jane, and if they like you, I'll call them on Monday and we'll go from there. Long story short, everything went good. I got the job, and that's how my real estate career started. But if it wasn't for persistence and asking, can I please just say hello to one of the area managers?
Yes.
What do we have to lose by asking?
Exactly.
In everything in life. So,
way I look at, and the same aspect behind that is, if you don't ask, it's 100% no.
there you go.
If you ask, you have variables. Something I've always looked at.
I like that. And the thing is, I got to reiterate this, Mike, is, you got to be the good person. If you're not a good human being, you can ask all day. You can't expect them to want to contribute.
Yeah.
But we, as good humans, we want to help good humans. Like I want to help you because you're a good human. If there's something I can do for you, chances are I'm going to do what I can to help you. That's where we're at.
Yes.
And especially now more than ever, we need to use our God-given talent to help other humans get to where they want to go in life.
Very true, especially with what has happened in the last few years. There's been
uncertainty.
There's been a human disconnect to a certain degree between the communities, businesses, and the people within. One of the projects I'm working on, I've been redesigning my entire company last year and a half. It's kind of, I guess it was hush-hush, so I guess it's no longer hush-hush now. But the aspect is what I'm doing is I'm building bridges and rebuilding in the empowerment, building communities stronger together, building it locally, regionally, and of course worldwide is my main goal.
Well, we need that. I'm so glad that you're the quarterback of that mission because we need it.
Well, there's, over my lifetime, over the last few years, especially last 11 years especially, I feel called to do certain things, and one of them is to heal, work with the healers to help heal the healers so the healers can heal others better. And the other one took me a little longer to make sure it wasn't done in ego aspect. To work with the business owners, to be a leader with the leaders, for the people, of the people, with the people.
Love that. Wow.
And this is where
that's empowering just listening to you.
Well, thank you, sir. And the third one will be one that will be in a few years. That one I will unveil when the timing's right. Life is about timing.
I agree.
So speaking of that direction, you talked about a lot of the stuff you've gone through. What are some of the hurdles that you personally had to go through to be who you are today?
Well, I think everything in life, every aspect that we go through is a learning lesson, if you want it to be.
It can be, yes.
I want to try. I want to learn something new every day.
Yes.
I would say some of the hurdles I've gone through is becoming a leader of a pretty large company with no training and with no mentors.
Yes.
And even though I had a loving family, I didn't have the dad and the family members saying, you're going to be a businessman someday and you're going to be successple. I think their wish for me was just don't die. So
I understand that feeling.
Yeah, so I accomplished that for them.
Yeah.
But once again, I had a wonderful family, but I just didn't have that aspect that a lot of these business people had, inheritance with that, or they had takeover family businesses. I was quite the opposite. But I've gone through a lot of hurdles. I remember when I started my company, Deeb Realty, I'd be going to try to grow it and be like, what? What's the name of it? I've never heard of it. And so I had to organically, on a daily basis, sell.
Correct.
Well, why would we use your company? over a company owned by Warren Buffett. And then later on in life, we've got the company owned by Warren Buffett's offering us a huge amount of money to go away because we're making so much noise. So it was pretty cool. But so those were some of the hurdles. Learning to become a good leader,
Yes.
was a hurdle for me. I made a lot of mistakes. I made a lot of phone calls to people apologizing because I might have made a comment that I shouldn't have and I didn't know any better. But I look at everything I do in life as I'm trying to become better. You know,
Yes.
I tried retirement, Mike, and I couldn't do it. I'm not cut out for it.
I know that
God
feeling quite well.
wants me to utilize my talent while I'm here on this earth in this form.
Yes.
And he knows I can't do it on a golf course or sitting home eating bonbons watching General Hospital, even though that is kind of a good show. But so I face hurdles all the time. But
Yes.
my thing is when I face a hurdle, I'm immediately looking for a solution.
Yes.
I'm not going to call you and complain about my hurdle. I'm going to be resourceful and try to find a solution as fast as I can.
Correct.
Like I've got a hurdle right now that I don't have a solution.
Yet.
And that is I hate leaving my dog.
I understand.
I have timing, I've never had a dog. I got a dog, my first dog 4.5 years ago.
Cool.
And I am so crazy over this dog that I'm sure people are sick of me talking about him. But I can't, I just hate leaving him. And so that's a hurdle for me because I still can't figure out a solution.
Well,
So
he's your fur kid.
yeah,
So I understand that.
yeah, so I gave my one and only child, my daughter Courtney, she's 35, I gave her a little brother. And she calls my dog her little brother.
I like that. That's cool. That's cool.
So-
But as you mentioned about leaders, leaders are not bosses.
No.
Leaders are the ones who step into the trench and lead by example.
I love that. That's a great, and I think the best leaders and managers are those that listen to the people that they're leading. If people want to know how to become a better leader or manager, ask the people that you're leading.
Correct.
What do you like about my style?
Correct.
What don't you like? And if
Yes.
it's something you can correct,
Correct.
you know, can I give you a quick example?
Please do.
I do a lot of consulting in a huge company, and I did a speech for a company, and then they said, "Hey, our people really liked what you had to say. Will you come in and do one-on-one with our top 20 people?" So moving forward, I did that. It took me quite a while, and I did it they had me for 6 months, take 6 months off, come back and do it again. Well, the owner comes in and has a session with me, and he goes, you know, these people here are like my family. And I said, "Have you ever told them that?" And he goes, "No, I'm not that type of guy." I said, "Why not?" I said, "You know, when I interview your people, most of them don't know how you feel about them. They've told me that. They say, I love my job, but I don't know what the owner thinks of my job, about how I do for his company." And he just looked at me and I said, "How are they supposed to know how you feel about them if you don't tell them that?" He goes, "Well, I'm kind of a rough guy. I'm not a guy to be all sensitive." I go, "Well, then change."
Correct.
Because these people that work for you deserve it. So moving forward, they had another company meeting, all company meeting, and they asked me to open it up, and I did, got them all motivated. And he assured me he was going to do it then. And he got up there, the owner, and he goes, "I want all of you to know something that I've never told you in my 50 years being here. I love all of you like family." And if you, even the big burly guys were crying. Awesome. I mean, and I was too. I was emotional because he's never done that before. And it was, I believe it was God through me telling him, this is what your people need to hear.
Yes.
And this is where, this is where we're at today.
Yes.
Let people know they're suffering. We've got more mental illness now more than ever. People need to know they're okay. And all you might do is just call them up and saying, "Hey, I haven't told you this in a couple of months, but you really matter."
Yes.
What did that cost us?
Very powerful is what that is.
It is, but don't just hold it inside. Don't take it to heaven with you.
Correct.
Let it out. Go to heaven exhausted.
Yes, I agree with that.
Exhaust everything inside of you.
Yes.
That's purposeful. That's intentional.
Yes. A purpose-driven life.
Love that book. And I love that statement.
Because that's what our life matters. It's not just one thing or this other aspects. Life itself matters, how we live our life. As we go through the experiences, the knowledges, those mold us and shape us into the individuals we are today. What I've gone through from my past to where I'm at present, there's a lot of story behind those things, which I'll eventually put on here soon.
I hope you do. You're changing a lot of lives. You're empowering people to be the best they can be. I mean, that's what you do.
That's why
I mean, what a great career. Hey, Mike, what do you do? I help people live their best life. I mean, that's a pretty darn good career.
That's what I try to do. Is a lot of us have the second guessing in our mind. We be held back for whatever experiences we go through in life. Mm-hmm. When you take that and change one's mindset, that key unlocks the next potential.
Well said. Need to put that in writing and send it to me.
I'm actually, I do, as you know, I do seminars, workshops, and classes. I'm actually in the process and finishing up on a new workshop called the Mindset Workout.
Like that.
When you work out your muscles, it's good to work out the mind. The mind is what starts us, stops us, moves us forward, and so forth. Once the mind gets to the point that nothing stops us, the only thing that can stop us is ourselves.
Love that.
So, got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
What inspires and motivates you by podcasts, by books, by authors, by speakers, so forth? What moves you to where you move forward in your life?
When I get an email from somebody a week after I spoke at their conference saying, I'm going to implement what you said and my life is already changing.
That is powerful.
I get that. I have boxes of letters from people, and that keeps me moving, knowing that maybe my words or my actions or my leadership is helping people move their needle forward. Mm-hmm. That is all I need. That is money to me.
Yes.
That means the world to me when people are, that I may have contributed to them having a better life. That inspires, that's what motivates me.
That's powerful.
And if somebody calls me and says they're dropping off some spaghetti and meatballs, that inspires me.
I can understand that.
So if anybody listening, I'll give you my address just direct message me.
I have you try
watching.
So is there any questions I should have asked but haven't yet?
You know, I'm just a blessed man. I'm not anything special. I just made a decision. Everybody that we see makes a decision. You either make a decision that you want to live an above average life, or you make a decision that I'm good where I'm at. And a lot of my friends, they've made a decision where they're good where they're at, and they're incredibly awesome people. There's no wrong answer there.
Correct.
But I've made a decision that I want to empower others to live their best life.
Yes.
And so I'm a work in progress myself. I'm a praying man. I believe everything that's happened good to me, is my doing and because of God. And I think everything that happened not good to me is my doing also.
Yes.
My mother used to say, you are your own worst enemy. Mm-hmm. And that's a true statement in everyday life.
Yes, it is.
You know, we put ourselves in challenges or we don't. Mm-hmm. And, but I think a positive attitude, and I think when I learned to look in the mirror every morning when I wake up and say, Van, today, make a difference in somebody else's life, it stays with you, and then you become that person.
That is very true.
Just
very
like you're doing. No difference. We're no different. We're both trying to make people's lives better.
That is true. That is true. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I'd just like to encourage people to watch your show.
Thank you.
And I'd like to encourage people to listen to when you have events coming up and come, because you inspire me and you motivate me, and I hope the rest of the world will get a chance to get to know you as well.
Well, thank you very much. That means a lot to me. Most appreciated.
Sure.
Is there any books or seminars that's coming up you like to promote about?
Sure. I write books to help you get to help you get to where you want to go. They're not just real estate related, but vandeeb.com. They can find everything there. They can contact me to speak at their next company event. I do small companies or I'll do large events. So vandeeb.com, they can connect with me and learn a lot about me.
That's awesome, very awesome. And is there any words of wisdom you'd like to tell the audience?
Yes.
That'd be a nugget of knowledge that can bring them to where they need to be at next in life.
Yes, I think that if you know you have the ability, you have the responsibility.
That is true.
If you, and I didn't make that up, I just can't remember who's to give credit to the quote, but I really believe in that. If you have the ability, you have the responsibility. If you know that you have something inside of you that can contribute to a better life for somebody, you have the responsibility to make that happen.
That is very true, very true. Well, thank you very much for your time today, and looking forward maybe having you come back here in the near future.
I hope you ask me, and I'm honored to be on your show.
I am honored to have you here.
Thank you.
So I'm also honored to have each and every one of you out there to be here too. So my name is Michael Smeckley, and this is Van Deeb on Everyone's Got a Story. What's yours? And I thank you and have a great and awesome day.